Hi everyone, it's Drina back with a plant-powered recipe for you. This one is really easy. It's not in any of my books. It's a new recipe and it's a breakfast cereal, but really it could be dessert too. And we're using some leftovers that you may have in the kitchen. Whenever I cook rice, I cook it in batches so that I have extras for the next day or a couple of days down the road. So if you're making brown rice or brown basmati rice, whatever, make extra and keep it in the fridge. And this is what I have now. I have some leftover brown rice. This is a long grain brown rice. You could use a short grain brown rice as well. And we are going to make some really delicious, healthy, hearty morning food for you. A nice bowl of warm rice pudding. I mean, doesn't that sound great for breakfast, rice pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is great. So we're going to start by putting 2 cups in a saucepan. Actually, we're going to measure 2 cups and reserve half a cup for a little later. So we're measuring in 2 cups. And why I really like this as a morning cereal is that sometimes oatmeal takes a little bit of time to make. This is really quick to make. And you may not even have rolled oats some morning or another ingredient like that. If you have this left over, it's a great substitute and kind of switches things up for everyone in the family, makes it a little more interesting for the kids. So we've got the 2nd cup of brown rice and I'm just going to add about half of that. So I'm just pretty much eyeballing it, leave about half a cup in there. And then we are going to add, you can use whatever non-dairy milk you like. I like almond milk. But this particular recipe, you could use pretty much any milk. A hemp milk, rice milk. Coconut milk. Any other milk really, because some of the milks are sweeter, like hemp milk has a very sort of noticeable taste. Rice milk is kind of sweet, but in this recipe it will work. So we're going to use 3/4 of a cup of milk, and I'm not sure if I've got, yes. Just a little bit under. And you can use vanilla. I like the plain because then I can kind of control the sweetness and the sweetener that I put in there, but really it's up to you. And then we're going to take that mixture and puree it with an immersion blender. Now if you don't have one of these tools, I really recommend you get it. It's super handy to have for pureeing soups, making salad dressings, this kind of thing where you don't have to put it in the blender and make your blender dirty. You just use the stick and the stick goes into the dishwasher. So it's a really handy thing to have. I do it before I put it on the stove because sometimes it splatters a little bit. And if you're doing it while it's cold, then you won't get any hot splatters on you. So you can do it on the stove. I just find, it's just as easy this way and no messy, dirty splatters on you. So I'm going to puree it for just a minute. I sometimes tilt the pot to the side to get a better depth of mixture to puree. Become very thick and creamy, nice creamy color. And there's a few things you can do with this pudding. So one idea is to take a ripe banana. I'm not going to do it this time, but take a ripe banana and slice it, just slice it a little bit. You have maybe about a cup, and add it to your pudding and puree it, and then you get a natural sweetener in your pudding and that beautiful banana flavor. The only thing with the banana is that it does oxidize, so if you're not eating the pudding right away and it goes back into the fridge, your pudding will discolor a little bit, like it will just, turn a little bit grayish, brownish, not brown, but a little bit grayish like a banana will when it oxidizes. You'll get that color going into your pudding. So I really like the banana in there, but if you're going to keep it and you're at all turned off by aesthetics, then don't only use it if you're going to eat it right away. That's what I'm trying to say in a very long way. So what we're going to do now is add back in that extra bit of whole grain brown rice. You could puree this in. I just kind of like to puree some and then keep some of the rice whole because it's just a textural thing. It's nice to have some of the rice whole in there. And we're going to add some seasonings, some flavorings. We're adding a half teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, we're back. The pudding is cooked and it's nice and thick and it's rich and creamy and delicious. Now here's where we can add a few other things if you like. If you want to add, I mean, this is a whole food, so you already get protein and fiber and all kinds of nutrients in this cereal. If you want to add extras, some extra protein, some extra nutrient density through some good foods like hemp seeds, chia seeds, this is where you can add it. You can add hemp seeds. If you're not familiar with hemp seeds, got a shot there. You could add hemp seeds. You could add ground chia. I would prefer to add ground chia because then the kids don't bite into the little seeds and it kind of just dissolves right into the pudding. You could also add nut butters or almond meal. All of those things would be great. And also berries, goji berries, blueberries, any of those things, any kind of fruit, chopped apple, all of those would be lovely.
Peach.
And then the last time I made this pudding, I did a little something for the girls. I actually added cocoa powder to make it a chocolatey pudding. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take out some of the pudding because when I do this for the girls, if I want to have it, I don't always want to have the cocoa powder in there, believe it or not.
True.
This chocolate-loving mama actually doesn't always want chocolate. But, so I will take out a little bit and reserve it. You can put it in the fridge, you can eat it right away, but then you don't have to add cocoa to everything. And then for the kids, I'm just going to take out a little bit more, you can add some cocoa. You won't need much.
Cocoa powder.
If it's the whole batch, maybe, try not to move it too much, sweetie.
Oh.
Try just a tablespoon. If it's half a batch, maybe even a half a tablespoon.
Okay.
Because the cocoa is pretty strong tasting. And I'm just going to work that in really, really quickly and show it to you. Tiny bit more. So yeah, about a tablespoon. Tablespoon and a half. So then you have a chocolatey pudding. And one thing to note about adding cocoa is that because it is bitter in nature, like it has a natural bitter flavor, you will probably need to add a little bit more sweetener. So either that banana
Sugar.
or some coconut sugar would be great.
Like
or
this?
Yeah, coconut sugar. This is what coconut sugar looks like. Or extra maple syrup. Coconut sugar is lovely. It looks, can you see it?
Delicious.
It looks a little bit like brown sugar, but brown sugar is just white sugar coated with molasses. It's not good sugar to include in, well, you know, you limit sweeteners in general.
That stuff, it melts into the oatmeal.
It's delicious. But if you want to choose a healthier sugar, coconut sugar is a very good one to choose. But you could also use maple syrup. And then you have a chocolatey pudding for the girls or for you. Sometimes I like the chocolatey pudding, so. It's really, really good. I mean, it's hearty and creamy and so warm and thick and delicious, and especially as we're moving into fall and winter.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, you want some rice pudding? Yeah. And you could make it for dessert. Like I said, you could add some extra maple syrup, sweetener, berries, and you have either a really hearty breakfast or a great mid-afternoon snack, whenever.
Dessert.
Or dessert. So I hope you try my creamy instant rice pudding. And for other delicious whole foods vegan recipes, check out my website, plantpoweredkitchen.com. Back for more soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.